So I want to talk about materialism and what is the cause of materialism in my view. Well, I sort of had this insight that materialism comes from dissatisfaction and lack of meaning in life. I think that people just seek this satisfaction and this sense of pleasure and happiness through materialism, thinking that that's actually going to make a difference, that they're going to be happier and more fulfilled in their lives. But I don't think it's like even something that people think consciously. It's just something that's running underneath. Of course, you can also say that a lot of people are driven by this sense of that they have to survive, and that's kind of in our genes, and we want to hoard to be safe and stuff. And I think that matters, but I also think that we are generally, at least in our part of the world, in a place where people feel quite secure in materialistically, but that it's really coming from chasing a feeling, and it's so obvious or pronounced now around this Black Week and all that, like all this temptation out there in form of getting something better and brighter and shinier, and people are just spending and falling for that because they want to fill this gap inside. And really, the antidote to that is to be fulfilled in yourself, to have an experience of how it is to be without needing anything, like to really be at peace and not wanting stuff. I think as soon as you find peace, or even just contentment within yourself, that drive for buying new stuff, looking better, having another experience or another holiday and all that, it diminishes dramatically, because there isn't this drive to fill your life with something that's lacking. And it's natural that people would think that what's lacking is on the outside, because that's kind of where we have our attention, and we're used to building things on the outside, and we're not really so used to building things on the inside, or looking for the answer on that level, that it actually really comes down to how you feel on the inside, and how can you fill that void? How can you feel that dissatisfaction? And I know from my own experience that you can feel that with presence. You can learn how to be present. And when you learn how to be present, then it's easy to just be in this moment and not want to be in another moment. And that means that it's easy to be in the moment just as it is with the stuff you have here. You don't have to have more stuff in another moment to feel better, because it's good to be here. And so actually, for people to find that contentment, I think is the real key to changing the world. Because that drive for more all the time, it leads to a lot of overspending, it leads to a lot of stress, it leads to environmental problem, pollution, all that kind of thing. It leads to a lot of inequality too, because people just want more, and not so interested in sharing equally and all that, but which becomes much easier when you're just content with your own presence of being alive. And that's very possible for people to achieve, if they consciously want to do that, and if they would know that that's actually the solution. I want to move forward in that direction. I want the world to discover that and to get there, and for people to experience that for themselves. That excites me. I think that would be amazing if that really catches on, that really people get that we can be happy in a different way, and we don't have to create all this conflict within ourselves and then try to remedy that with chasing more on the outside. Yeah.
Wonderful.